Mr. Blank claims that you currently impede his ability to communicate with his son once a day per the court order. Is that true? I am not the reason he is unable to have the daily phone call. He is unable to communicate with son because his calls were revoked while he is in jail. He is able to write son letters and has failed to do so this far. It is the court's main goal to keep families unified. We hold the belief that children do best with both biological parents in their lives whenever possible. Moving this far would prevent son's father from being heavily involved in his life. Would this not negatively affect him? Son has fared better with his father removed from his life physically, if it would be allowed. I have brought witnesses to testify to why it would be in both mine and son's best interest to be allowed to move. Yes, that is allowed. You may call your first witness. Thank you. First, I would like to call forward son's second grade teacher, Ms. Blank. So you are son's current teacher in school? Yes, I am. How long have you been teaching this grade? Oh, 4 years. Second grade has always been my favorite. And have you had children who have been separated from a biological parent in your class before? Yes, I have had quite a few. How do those children normally behave? Normally, when a child is separated from a loved and safe parent, or in the middle of a contentious divorce, you see the negative impact on them through their social interactions and education. They normally withdraw from others or have negative behaviors. They act out. They tend to fall behind the rest of the class in their learning as well. It's completely understandable. How can you focus on learning when your entire world is being destroyed? And in regards to son, would you say he is exhibiting these behaviors? Absolutely not. Son is such a delight to have in class. He makes friends easily and is very happy every time I see him. He did struggle a bit in the beginning of the year and was behind academically, but the progress he has made is remarkable. He is on pace to be caught up in all subjects by the end of the year. But I would like to say that I also credit his improvements on you, Mom. You are extremely involved in his education and make sure to stay in touch in case there are ever any issues. In regards to Dad, I understand that he has not had physical custody of son in a while according to the court order that was given to the school. However, I have never once heard from Dad. He has never reached out to check on his educational status. Do you think that son would be negatively impacted if he were to move away from his biological father? Any big move can cause some upset in kids. That's to be expected. But I think that as long as he will continue to have the support system that you provide as his mother, that he will be perfectly fine. Thank you so much. I have no further questions. For my next witness, I would like to call my therapist to the stand to testify as to why this relocation should be granted. Dr. Blank, is it true that you have been my therapist since the separation between myself and Rodney Blank occurred? Yes, that is true. I would like to keep this simple. Do you believe that I have a valid reason to fear for my safety and the safety of son due to Rodney Blank? I have never met Mr. Blank, but from what I have heard of him and seen through video you have provided me, I would be concerned if you didn't have a healthy amount of fear towards him. I would be surprised if anyone would want to stay locally to their former Abu Dhabi. Do you believe that being allowed to relocate would be beneficial to my mental health? Without a doubt, you would never be able to lead a normal life if you remained in the area. Neither would son. You would always be looking over your shoulder when Mr. Blank is not incarcerated. Thank you. That is Mr. Blank, at this time, are you prepared to question the witnesses provided by the petitioner? No, I have no reason to talk to them. They don't mean anything to me. Do you have any witnesses with you today to testify on your behalf? No, I don't need anyone to speak on my behalf. I am Son's father and I'm saying that I do not agree to have him moving so far away. If she wants to move, fine. She can wait until I am released and I will keep Son with me where he belongs. Very well. Do you have anything else you would like to add on your own behalf? I've said all that needs to be said. A son needs to stay with his father, not his waste of a mother. Very well. Court is dismissed for the day. Both parties will receive notice when the official decision has been made. Is there an estimated length of time before we have a decision? You will hear from the courts once there is a ruling. There is no estimated length of time. Hey Daddy, Merry Christmas from your dad who loves you so much. I saw this poem the other day, and it made me think of the bond me and you will always share. The blood that flows through you flows through me. When I look in any mirror, your face is all I see. Take my hand, lean on me, my wandering boy. We're almost free. I know you must be worried sick about your daddy and why I'm locked up in jail instead of home with you. But don't worry, it's not so bad in here for your dear old dad. Your aunt and uncle keep daddy's books nice and full. And once a week they let us order food, and if we're following the rules, you never got to meet you aunt and uncle because of your mom. But once I'm out, I'll make sure you finally get to. I even have a jail-issued tablet. Tell your mom to set you up an account through the jail system, and you will be able to FaceTime with me every day. I know that would cheer me up. And don't worry about moving away. Daddy is making sure you will never be away from me ever again. As I am not exactly sure how domestic relations works in regards to a hearing for child support, I will just be giving Faye's first-hand account for this hearing instead of typing a script. When I arrived for our child support meeting, my attorney and I were immediately brought into a conference room by ourselves. After a few minutes, the sheriff and the conference manager came in, and I was told they were about to bring in Rodney. I don't know why, but hearing that I was about to have to be face-to-face with him again after so long sent me into a full-blown panic attack. I couldn't breathe, and it felt like my body was shaking all over. My attorney had to grab the conference manager and have him wait to start. He allowed me a few extra moments to collect myself, but it seemed obvious to me that he seemed annoyed that I had a panic attack. Finally, Rodney did come into the room. He requested that his back child support be wiped clean and that his total monthly support amount be lowered as he is now having to pay for parole fees. My attorney argued against this, stating that the costs were due to Rodney's choices, but it seemed clear, and when we finally received the verdict of the hearing, I found out that they sided with Rodney. Not only did they wipe all of his back child support, but they also allowed for the deviation and ordered me to pay $100 for his legal fees for that day. I knew that the manager wasn't a fan of mine after my panic attack, but I didn't understand how he could see that this man was in jail for violating a PFA and threatening my life, and still believed he deserved to have all of that back support wiped clean. My attorney assured me that she was immediately filing an appeal to be heard in front of a judge and that we could correct this, but it was like the wind was ripped out from under me. I fell back into the despair of feeling as if Rodney would always win. How could someone who worked for family court be okay rewarding a man who was a convicted domestic abuser and had a history of violence? This was exactly why so many victims never went after their abusers in court. The system constantly fails victims. And at that moment it felt like I was being victimized by both the court system and Rodney at the same time. For weeks after our relocation case was heard, I finally received a verdict. The judge officially granted my request to relocate with Son. He specifically notated that it is clear that Rodney's motives in regards to us were questionable, at best, and we would be in danger if we remained here. With Rodney still being incarcerated, we decided to use this opportunity to let Son stay with my family and go house hunting in the city we had chosen. I felt like I could finally start to relax. Rodney couldn't get to us. We were safe, and we had time to find our perfect home within our price range before he would be released. I was shocked when I was notified that he was released that February. However, things still seemed to be okay because he was no longer allowed to contact me whatsoever to stay in order with his parole. Six weeks after Rodney was released, I was informed of an in-person meeting with domestic relations in regards to Rodney's child support. This would be my first time physically in the same room as him in months. Hi Faye, I had a surprise visit from Rodney today, and he spoke to me about how deeply he missed Son and how badly he wanted to see him. He's asked me if I could send him pictures of Son from social media. Obviously, I do not know everything that has happened between the two of you, but I would never want to Abu Dhabi the trust you have in me by being friends on social media. If this is something you are okay with, I don't mind doing so, but if not, that is completely understandable. Hi Pastor, thank you for asking me. Currently there is a PFA for Son and I against Rodney, so I would appreciate it if you did not send him anything at this time. He is able to call Son every day at 7 and can see him over video chats on the weekend. Thank you for letting me know. I will inform Rodney that I will not act as a go-between for the two of you again. If there is anything I can do to help you or Son in the future, please let me know. Of course, I appreciate you and everything you've always done for us. You are a good mom, Faye. Always trust your judgment. Court is now in session to hear the appeal of the decision made to clear the defendant's back pay, as well as allow a deviation of the monthly child support obligations. I would first like to hear from the petitioner to understand why this appeal was filed. Thank you, Your Honor. My client has requested this appeal due to the fact that the decision to grant Mr. Blank's requests was made in poor faith and judgment. Mr. Blank was ordered to pay a set amount in child support based on his previous salary. His claims of being unable to pay this amount due to loss of employment fail to recognize the reason behind his loss of employment. And what was the reason employment was lost? Your Honor, Mr. Blank posted a very disturbing video of himself in company uniform speaking about the ways he wanted to unalive my client in graphic detail. Not only did he lose his job from this, he also violated the PFA by doing so. And after the police attempted to serve Mr. Blank, he instead chose to go on the run and hide from police for over a month, which violated his parole and sent him to jail. I see. So the back pay that was wiped off was from while Mr. Blank was incarcerated. Not only while he was incarcerated, it is from the date he lost his employment, in which he willingly sent a text to my client stating he would no longer be paying anything. And the deviation was granted for what reason? The deviation was requested by Mr. Blank due to the fees he has to pay for his parole. I fail to understand why the choices Mr. Blank made that landed him on parole should have any bearing towards his duty to financially support his child. Mr. Blank, could you explain to me why you believe the previous decision should stand? I presented my case to the case manager, and he agreed with me. I am currently unemployed and just trying to stay afloat. She has taken my child from me and lied on my name repeatedly, which is what got her the PFA. I can't keep giving what I don't have. Did you tell the petitioner that you weren't going to pay her any child support anymore because she cost you your job? I did, because it was the truth. How am I supposed to pay that when she ensured I was fired? I have to survive too. So you truly believe that your decision to post that video is not the reason you were fired? I have freedom of speech. I never said her name. I avoid saying her name at every opportunity. Just because she thinks the video is about her didn't give her the right to cost me my employment. And then still expect a check. Sir, actions have consequences. This is something everyone should have learned in kindergarten. Your choice to post a disturbing video in uniform cost you your job. And your choice to go on the run cost you your freedom. I am not sure what you said to the manager that made him believe you deserve any type of break, but it does not work here. I will not reward bad behavior in my courtroom. And that's exactly what you are asking of me, to allow you to be rewarded for your bad decisions by wiping out your back due support and allowing you a deviation to pay fees for parole. And I will not do so. The court rules in favor of the petitioner. Back due child support will be reinstated, and the deviation of monthly child support will be removed. And what happens when I can't pay it? You will have to figure it out. After the hearing, Harris decided to take me away for the weekend to celebrate us being allowed to relocate and to try and help me relax after dealing with all the stress. My brother and sister-in-law agreed to take Son for the weekend to put distance between him and Rodney while we were gone. Hi Rodney, this is Angie, Son's aunt. He's with me today. So this is the number you can call for your 7 p.m. call with him. Faye wanted to make sure you had the right information. Rodney didn't answer or even acknowledge the text. Son and his aunt and uncle spent the day at the lake. And once 7 got closer, they went home to find that there was an issue with cell service and the phone was not picking up. Signal. Hi Rodney, I'm so sorry. We couldn't get any signal on the phone for the last hour. It just connected again. I see you tried to reach out, so feel free to call back if you are still able to talk. Does spewing bullshit run in the family or something? I don't want to hear the lies about why I was denied my phone call with my son. It just shows how no one in that damn family cares about Son's relationship with his father. No, of course not. It was completely out of anyone's control. I can send you the link about the signal outage if you'd like, but Son is ready and waiting for your call. Son should have been ready and waiting at 7 p.m. on the dot. Incompetence runs abundant, I see. It's such a shame this is what the courts allow for my child. Look, I'm sorry the calls didn't work. If you want to call him, please go ahead and do so, because he still needs to take a bath and get ready for bed. It's getting late. Of course, I want to call him. But if this ever happens again, mark my words, I will drag Faye's ass right back to court and hold her in contempt. She can rot in jail for a few months over her sins. If anyone deserves it, it's her. You make sure to let her know I'm dead fucking serious about that. This is totally on us, not Faye. She told us about the call. I should have made sure that the phone was working before 7. Maybe if she was a fucking competent parent, she would actually be caring for our son and not pawning him off on someone else so she can go sleep around or do whatever she is doing. Where is your mom? Why does it matter? Because I am your father and I am asking you where your mom is. She is supposed to be with you. So I want to know what she's doing. That is so important that she left you with some random people. She's not some random person. I love Aunt Angie and Uncle Brandon. Did your mom ever give you my letters I wrote you while I was in jail? Yeah. So why did you never write me back? I wanted you to write me back. Because they were weird, and I didn't know what to say. And why won't you even talk now? Or put your face on the screen? Why can't I ever see your face? I miss you. And your mom is making you think I'm the bad guy. I promise I'm not the bad guy's son. You're being lied to. The only person that lies to me is you. You're the meanest guy ever. And you're not even my dad. Dads are good to their kids. And you were never good to me. You're scary and mean. So I don't want to talk to you. And if you never called me again, I wouldn't even care. Well, too bad it isn't your choice, because the judge said I get to talk to you every single day. So get used to it. Asterisk son hangs up the phone.